Hey everybody, it's Sherry from Mature Beauty Studio, and I wanted to come on today and do something brand new with you. I've learned a new technique of applying our 3D makeup, and it's called the Camo Bridge Pop technique. So we're using a camouflage color, which I usually used as a color correction before, but we're going to camouflage and then we're going to add that pop, which is our brightening highlight, and then the bridge is going to be our main foundation color. And then again, we're going to use our contour just like we always did, and a little bit of bronzer. Everything comes in this little double decker. So this is a really cool way to have multiple shades. So depending on if you're a summer color and you got a lot of tan going on, this compact is going to work for that, as well as when you get into fall and winter and you're a little lighter. So that's why this is a really nice setup. So I have my lightest color, which is my pop. My bridge color is kind of my mid-tone basic foundation. And then my camouflage color is going to get rid of any discoloration I have on my face, whether it's the age spots, the under eye darkness. Then my contour, just like before, to add some dimension to our face. And then I also have a beautiful illuminator and our Bella bronzer that I'm going to add. So I am going to go ahead and get started and show you this new technique, and you can let me know what you think. So first brush I'm going to use today is this contour brush, and we call it the detail brush. I love it because it has this cool little end that's specifically made for contouring. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of tap that into my contour color. And as you know, for mature faces, I like to start that contour up a little bit higher. Instead of going under the cheekbones, I'm kind of feeling where that cheekbone is and I'm going right on it. So I'm going to just kind of stamp that contour color right there. And again, at the hairline, feel where that cheekbone is and just bring it, kind of stamp it right down there. Next place I like to do contour is up around my forehead. And this is going to just bring some dimension to our face, bring down. If we have a high forehead, it's going to bring it down. If you have a wider face, you're going to want to bring that contour around the sides as well to kind of narrow your face and create that shadow. So I don't have an extremely wide face. I have kind of a long face, so I'm just going to leave it right on top like that. Next place I'm going to contour is right under our jawline and chin. And what this does is kind of just chisel out a nice even line. Sometimes what happens when we get older, we get a little bit of sagginess. And by doing a contour here, we're actually creating a sharp line. So this is all of kind of a little creating some illusion, right? It's all little smoke and mirrors. By using light and contour, we can give a little bit more dimension and light where we want it. And again, the contour I'm going to bring down here and do a little shadow right under there. So now we have our contour on. Next shade I'm going to go into is my pop, and that's where I want to bring some lightness to my face. So I'm going to use the small end of this detail brush, going in with that lightest shade that's in my compact, and I'm going to just kind of put it right in the corner of my eye here and up at the edge here. Again, everything we do is going to create lift, because who doesn't want a little lift? When you have a mature face, we want it lifted. So this is kind of our push-up bra for our face. We're going to lift our cheekbones, lift our face. So again, corner the eye and then kind of pull it up here. And don't worry, everything is going to blend together. So you got to trust the process. When I start putting this stuff on, it's like, wow, there's a lot happening, but trust the process. It's all going to work. I'm going to bring that pop right down the center of my face like that. And now I want to camouflage. Remember I talked about camouflaging? I'm going to use our buff brush. This is very dense. So we have two sides. One's a little smaller, one's a little larger, very dense. So this is great for camouflaging. I'm just going to actually just tap a light amount in. And you can see a couple spots I have this age spot. So I'm going to just dab a little of that camo color up there. Get rid of that. I have a little bit of discoloration on my forehead. I have some broken capillaries here. And then my nose is kind of red. So I'm going to kind of just dab a little bit of that camo right there to get rid of that. But anywhere you feel like you have some discoloration, whether it's melasma or redness, this is where I would go in and just kind of dab Again, over here, a little bit of age spot. So I'm just gonna dab that Camo color, and this one is the darker shade. So this is gonna be your darkest shade, and I would pick the colors for you as your artist. So what you do is send me a selfie in front of a sunlit window, and I choose those colors for you. Now I also have some under eye darkness, so I'm gonna just kind of dab a little bit of that Camo color right kind of under where that darkness is, and also on my lids. You notice I have a lot of like purpley dark, so I'm just gonna dab that, and you can see that kind of just takes care of that and counteracts that purpley blue that I have going on. So now I have the Camo color on. I'm gonna go into my bridge, which is my main foundation color. And again, I'm gonna take the bigger side of this buff brush, and I'm gonna put that all the places that I don't have other makeup, because the key is we want one layer of makeup. We don't want to be layering on so much product, and that's kind of what happens with old traditional foundation. You put a layer of concealer, you put a layer of foundation, you put a layer of contour, you put a layer of blush. We want to just strategically, almost paint by number, all the places and kind of get everything covered with these different colors, but not layer it. So I'm just looking where I didn't put my Camo or my pop, and just kind of putting a little bit of that bridge color there. So kind of right up on my forehead, I'll hit that spot. And what this is doing by layering this on is actually it's warming to my skin. So by the time I get the makeup kind of placed where I want it to place, it's going to be warm enough where I can blend it all together. And that's kind of the beauty of this. So I showed you those colors in the top layer. I'm not going to do my bronzer yet. I'm going to go into the second layer, and here's where I have a couple of lip and cheek colors. I have 3 of them. So I have Ruby, Petal, and Nude. And then I have 4 eyeshadow colors, and I have some Vanilla Dust, which is a beautiful setting powder. So everything that you need to do your makeup is in this one double-decker compact, which is just absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go in and use a little bit of lip and cheek, and I'm just going to use my finger because I want just the smallest amount of product. I am just going to put a couple of dots of the darker one, the Ruby, right above my contour. And the reason I'm keeping it up here versus the apples of our cheeks, it's very lifting to have your color up here. Once you start putting that color on the apples of your cheeks, it really draws a lot of attention to that area, and we want the brightness in the center. Next color I'm going to go in, I'm going to use a little bit of that Petal, which is just a really light pink, and I'm going to put that right in the front. Again, just a really pretty pink. I'm going to go ahead and use this on my lips too. So I'm going to put a little bit of Petal on my lips, and then I'm going to put some Ruby over that. And I can layer those. I can wear them by themselves. Nude is really pretty too. I'm going to just put a little nude right over that. And now I'm going to blend. So everything has been sitting on my face, melding beautifully. I'm going to go ahead and take the big end of that buff brush, and I'm going to do my lightest shades first. So I'm taking care of the Camo, the bridge, the pop. And again, I can just kind of stipple that, press it in. By this time, it's so warm, it just blends right in. And we want it to look like a second skin. We don't want it to look like we have a bunch of foundation on. That's the key. We want it to look natural and beautiful. And I think that's a mistake so many times mature women have with foundation. It ends up looking so thick and cakey, and it doesn't look like skin anymore. Then the next area, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of meld that forehead contour in, and right around the neck, we're going to kind of just bring that down and blend that. And then we're going to go ahead and kind of just tap this contour and lip and cheek color right together and kind of marry those two together. So we're creating that beautiful lift on our cheekbones. We're adding a little color. And again, I'm just dabbing that. And okay, so now we have our face pretty well done. I would like to add at this point, I'd like to add a little bit of the bronzer just to kind of warm up my complexion. And I have a beautiful combo in my compact. Glow is an illuminator, so that just adds a beautiful little glow to your cheeks. And then the Bella bronzer. So I'm going to go ahead and take my blush and bronzer brush, and I'm just going to kind of tap into both of those together just to kind of get a really beautiful bronzy sheen. So again, I'm going to do just the tops of my cheekbones. So when you're doing bronzer, think of where the sun is going to hit your face, right? So your forehead, tops of your cheeks, and then we're going to bring it down on our neck just to kind of warm everything up. So that's a beautiful warm look. So obviously your face is not done until your eyes are done. And to me, this is just kind of the finishing touch. So I'm going to go in, again, the second layer, I have my eyeshadows, and I'm just using my eyeshadow brush. This is a two-sided, one end is fluffy, one end has a more of a domed end for doing detail work. My lightest color that I have in here is something called Stay Golden. So I'm going to just do a base coat of Stay Golden just to kind of even out my eyelids. Now remember, we also put our highlight there, so we kind of evened out and got rid of any discoloration. So I'm using Stay Golden. Next color I'm using is called Bubba, and it's a beautiful kind of very warm reddish brown. And I am going to reach up a little bit higher because of my hooded eyes. I want to be able to see it. So I'm going almost up to that brow bone. Just reaching up, because you can see when I close it, I can barely see it. A lot of the shadow that's gone in my crease has disappeared. So I need to reach up a little bit. And I'll just do that on this eye. And you just really don't need a lot of product. Again, just like the cream makeups, these eyeshadows are super pigmented, so you don't need much product to really get some beautiful payoff. And a lot of times people like to do their eyeshadows before they do their makeup in case there's any fallout. But again, the beauty of these cream makeups are, if you have any fallout, you can just take your little brush and just kind of swipe it up. So I'll show you that in a minute. We're going to do that. Next color I'm going to do is this darker brown. And this is actually one I use for my eyebrows too. So if you wanted to fill in your eyebrows, you could take the domed end of your brush and just fill in your brows. I've already got mine kind of filled in today, but if I want to just add a little bit of trust to my brows. And again, using these products multiple ways gives you so much bang for your buck. So an eyeshadow can be used for an eyeliner. It can be used for your eyebrows as well as a shadow. I'm going to take that dark color and just take that domed end, and I'm going to use it for a liner. And I prefer this much more than the old type of liners that I used to use that were kind of sharp. And it created a really, strong, beautiful line. But sometimes when you have a mature eye, you want a little bit softer line. So I'm using it just like I would any other eyeliner, kind of at the edge of my eye, but it's giving you kind of a smoky, smudgy look. So it's really pretty and soft. So you can see that eye versus that eye. It just kind of completes it, doesn't it? Using the dark, and you can use this with any dark shadow. I usually recommend when you get eyeshadows, get 4 colors. So you want that really light transition color, and then your mid-tone, and then a dark tone, and then I like to use a little bit of a shimmer. And I'll show you that in a minute. So again, just kind of taking that domed end, which has a little bit of a point, and using it as an eyeliner. And very easily done. And I have a beautiful shimmer in here called You Complete Me. I'm just going to dab that on my ring finger and simply just kind of pat that on my lid and inner corner. So that's going to add a little sparkle. And don't be afraid of shimmers. I know when we're mature, they say stay away from shimmers, but I think strategically put, they're beautiful. You don't want to use a lot of it because our eyelids do get kind of crepey the more mature we are, but just a little bit of it strategically placed can be just gorgeous. So again, just putting it on your finger and kind of tapping it on your lid, and actually right into the center, kind of where your tear duct is very, very pretty, and just a little bit of shimmer. All right, now if I want to take a little bit of that glow eliminator that I've mixed with my bronzer and add just a little bit more, I could just tap that on my finger and blend that right on out. So that's going to add us just a little shimmer. And when you're out in the sun, it's so pretty just to have that sheen on there. So I can be all finished just the way I am, but if I wanted to use a little bit of setting powder, if I felt like I was going to be out and about and I was going to be hot and sweaty and I just wanted a little powder, then I'd go into my vanilla dust, which fits great in here. And I would take that buff brush again and just tap. Again, tap into a little bit of that powder and maybe hit the spots that might get a little oily. So you can kind of do your T-zone, your chin, wherever you feel you're going to get a little bit oily. And just kind of tap that in. And that's it. Really, everything in one compact. It's that Camo Pop Bridge method. And then adding a little bronzer at the end. Again, some of these are optional, but why not? Everything fits in this really handy little thing that fits in your hand. You can have 1 or 2 brushes and you are good to go. So it's a beautiful way to do makeup, super easy, and you can see from the before and after, this is a pretty dramatic effect. I haven't even put my mascara on, so I would normally finish with a little bit of mascara. And you can be out the door in 10 minutes with this makeup and take it wherever you go. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you like this new method, and I'd encourage you to give it a try. If you'd like a color match so you can figure out what colors are perfect for you, please just message me and I'm happy to do a color match for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to doing more videos for you. Bye-bye.